guys, it's Jess and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys enjoy this what's for dinner and give these recipes a try. So for dinner tonight, we're going to have some chicken, sausage, and shrimp gumbo. I have been wanting gumbo for so long now, and I was at the store and decided to get some things for it. So I have my pack of chicken tenders here. This is like a 3/4 pounds of shrimp. I don't know if we'll use all this or not. Some sausage, 2 cups of rice, a bell pepper, an onion, some tomato paste, petite diced tomatoes, and some celery. And I've got some spices over here to the side that I'll show you. So over here I've got all of my spices, or most of them. I've got some bay leaves, parsley, minced onions, chopped chives, and then garlic powder and onion powder. If I would have known before I got home, I would have got fresh chives, but I didn't get any, so we're going to use the dried ones. Okay, so now in our large pot, I'm going to put about 2 tablespoons of oil in here. Then I'm going to add 4 tablespoons of butter in here. I'm going to turn my burner on medium-high heat and let this all melt down really well. Okay, so my butter isn't completely melted, but I'm going to go ahead and add my veggies in. I'm going to add a 1/2 cup of celery. 3/4 cups of green bell peppers. And then a 1/2 cup of onions. So I'm going to put a couple pieces of chicken down here to start cooking, and then we'll shred it up once it gets cooked. You don't need a whole lot of chicken because we've got 3 different types of meat in here. So I'm going to put probably 4 little chicken tenders in here, and then save the rest of our tenders for another night. Okay, so now to our onions, peppers, celery, and sausage and chicken, I'm going to add in all of our spices. I'm going to add in 2 teaspoons of these chopped chives. Two teaspoons of minced onion. 4 teaspoons of parsley flakes. I'm going to do probably about a teaspoon and a half of garlic powder. Or maybe just a teaspoon. We'll start off with that. And then about a half teaspoon, or we'll go ahead and do a teaspoon of onion powder. I'm going to stir this up really well. And then to this, I'm going to add in a teaspoon of this Creole seasoning. This is my favorite. I love it. This is what I put on my eggs, chicken, fish. Sometimes I sprinkle it on my baked potato. It is so good. And then I'm going to put in 3 teaspoons of flour. Probably closer to 4. Okay, I've probably honestly done 6. I start putting in here and then it never looks like enough. We're going to get that mixed up really, really well. And then I've heard a lot of people say that like tomatoes don't belong in gumbo, but I just really like the flavor it gives. This might not be authentic gumbo, but we really like it. So this is how I'm making it. Probably put 1 teaspoon of tomato paste. Give that a quick stir. And then I've got a can of petite diced tomatoes I'm going to add in here. I'm going to try to like deglaze the bottom of that pan. It's going to kind of thicken up because that flour in there. And then we're out of chicken broth. So I've got 2 bouillon cubes with 2 cups of water in here. I'm going to add that in here. Stir it around really, really well. Going to try to scrape off those really good bits off the bottom of our pan. And then I did find some bone broth, so I'm going to add that in here. And I'm going to bring this up and let it simmer. Also, while it's simmering, I'm going to add in 3 bay leaves. So now that everything's cooked, I'm just going to drop in some shrimp and let it cook. So now the shrimp is all cooked, and I'm going to go ahead and make our bowls. Okay, so this is the finished bowls. It looks so good. So we're having Salisbury steak for dinner tonight, and I've got my ground turkey over here and my mushrooms and bell peppers. This recipe calls for onions too, but I don't have any. So we're just going to make our gravy in a separate pot today. Then I'm going to make some mashed potatoes to go with it, and then the carrots are going to be in the gravy that's going to be on top of our Salisbury steaks. So everything in the back here is what's going to go in our Salisbury steak, and then these little packets up here is what's going to be our gravy. So in our Salisbury steak we've got Worcestershire sauce, ground mustard, yellow mustard, ground paprika, ketchup, onion powder. I'm going to put some beef bouillon cubes in it, crushed red peppers, minced onions, garlic powder, and parsley. And then after our carrots get done cooking, we're going to mix up these 3 packets and put in the carrots to make our gravy. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting all of our dry ingredients in here. I'm going to put in a teaspoon of dried mustard, a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, just a little bit of ground paprika. I'm not going to put a whole teaspoon of this. A couple little shakes of red pepper flakes. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of minced onions, 2 teaspoons of parsley flakes, and then I'm going to take 1 bouillon cube, and I'm going to try to kind of crush this up the best way I can. I'm going to do 1 crushed up bouillon cube. This is just a beef bouillon cube where I'm using turkey. Spread that around a little bit. I'm going to do a couple shakes of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to do a little bit of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to do about a tablespoon of ketchup. Maybe about 2. And then about a teaspoon of mustard. Then I'm going to add in 2 eggs. And then I've got about 20 crackers I'm going to try to crush up as finely as I can and add in here. So we have our steaks going. Back here we have our carrots in a pot getting ready to boil, and then also our potatoes are over here ready to boil. So our steaks are almost done. We're going to wait until those carrots get done, start making our gravy, and then after these get done, I'm going to saute the mushrooms. So now I'm going to cut up some mushrooms and saute them with some onions and peppers, but if you don't like any of this, you can completely leave it out. Okay, now my carrots are completely cooked back here. I'm going to add in the mixture of all those packets I showed you earlier into our carrots. So now I'm just adding the thickening to my carrots so it can make the gravy. Then I'll add some of that gravy to this pan to put the Salisbury steak in and let it kind of simmer in it for a while. And here is the end result. We all loved these, and it was a fairly simple meal. You could make it a lot simpler if you wanted to and not have both sides, but this would be a really easy dish to have prepped beforehand and just pull out and reheat. So thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today. I appreciate it so, so much, and I hope you guys enjoyed this and give these recipes a shot and let me know if you like them. So I'll see you on the next one.